I was halfway through pressure washing the driveway when I heard a metallic crunch. It wasn't just any crunch, it was the kind that twists your gut before your brain even registers what happened. I spun around just in time to see an HOA utility truck pulling back from the smashed corner of my brand new backup generator. The driver glanced up, eyes wide, then floored it in reverse like nothing had happened. My name's Ethan Caldwell, a 39-year-old HVAC contractor with a short fuse when someone messes with my stuff, especially when I've spent months SAVYing for something like that generator. We live in a quiet cul-de-sac in a neighborhood called Willow Grove, which sounds serene until you meet the HOA president, Cynthia Hargrove. She's mid-50s, always dressed like she's late for a corporate retreat, and treats every inch of this place like it's her personal kingdom. Lawn half an inch too long? Fine. Trash bin out 10 minutes early? Fine. She once tried to slap me with a violation because my son, Liam, left his skateboard against the garage too long. Cynthia's the type who says we when she means I, and community standards when she means my rules. She's had it out for me ever since I put up solar panels without her sacred pre-approval. She's been lurking, waiting for something to pin on me. But this wasn't a fine. This was destruction. And I had a front row seat. I wasn't the only one watching. My wife, Natalie, sharpest woman I know and a civil litigation attorney, was on the porch, sipping coffee, her phone tilted just enough to record the whole thing. She'd been filming because Cynthia's HOA crew had been creeping by our house more often the past 2 weeks, slowing down, snapping photos. Natalie had a gut feeling they were up to something. She was right. I stormed over to the wrecked generator, fists balled. "Natalie!" I shouted. "Please tell me you got that." She stood cool as ever. "Got it all. License plate, face, everything." I stared at the generator, bent metal, cracked casing, probably totaled inside. That thing cost me nearly $10,000, not counting installation. I bought it after a brutal storm last March left us without power for 3 days. Natalie works from home, I run my business from here. We can't afford outages. Then Cynthia came marching up the sidewalk, clipboard in hand, sunglasses perched on her head, lips pursed like she'd bitten a lemon. "Ethan," she said, voice clipped. "That generator violat Section 5, Paragraph 4 of the Willow Grove Covenant. Generators must be HOA approved and hidden from street VYEW. You mean the generator your truck just smashed?" I shot back. She didn't blink. "An accident. Our maintenance team was inspecting storm drains." She waved it off. "Regardless, it's unapproved. You'll get a citation and a removal order." Natalie stepped beside me, phone still in hand. "Actually, Cynthia, under California CIVYL Code Section 4751, HOAs can't ban backup power systems. They can suggest guidelines, but they can't stop us. And we sent you the plan 60 days ago. You never responded." Cynthia's lips twitched. "I don't recall receiving anything." Natalie smiled thinly. "That's fine. I have the certified mail receipt you signed." Cynthia's eyes narrowed. "That doesn't change the fact it's VY-CIBL, which is legal," Natalie cut in. "The law trumps your rules." That's when Cynthia slipped. She pointed at the generator and sneered. "You'll be fined daily until that monstrosity's gone, and I'm not paying a dime for your toy." My blood boiled, but Natalie touched my arm. "Let her talk," she whispered. "It's all on record." Cynthia stormed off, heels clicking like warning shots. I looked at the generator again. "Ruined." "I'm calling the sheriff," I said. Natalie nodded. "Good. Then I'm filing for property damage, harassment, and trespassing." I went inside, grabbed my phone, and dialed the non-emergency line. Within an hour, a deputy was at our house taking statements. Natalie showed him the VY-DAO. He watched it twice, glanced at me, then at the generator, then at the truck's license plate. "This is clear criminal damage," he said. "And since it's an HOA vehicle on private property, we're looking at multiple violations." Things got wild from there. While the deputy was still on our porch, another HOA truck, same logo, same crew, rolled by slowly. The guy in the passenger seat saw the deputy, froze, then yanked his hoodie over his head. "Hey," the deputy called, raising a hand. "That them?" "Yep," I said. "Same truck." He jogged to the street, flagged them down, and pulled them over. I watched from the porch as he grilled the driver, who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. The deputy came back. They're saying Cynthia ordered them to move the eyesore this morning. Called it a safety hazard, but she never filed anything with us. Natalie tilted her head. So they were told to remove private property without consent? Exactly, he said. That's attempted theft and property damage. I'm filing a report. That night, a neighbor named Tim called from 2 streets over. Said he'd seen the same HOA truck parked outside his place last week. They left tire marks on his lawn and broke a sprinkler head. When he complained, Cynthia told him to re-VYEW the landscaping clause. Suddenly, it wasn't just me. Natalie started digging through old HOA records, and the deeper she went, the worse it got. Fines issued without notice, surveillance cameras used on residents without permission, a shady contract with a landscaping company run by Cynthia's nephew. We were sitting on dynamite, and I was ready to strike the match. Natalie leaned back, eyes on her laptop. They picked the wrong house. I grinned. Yeah, they forgot the lawyer lives here. By 6 a.m. The next day, Natalie was pacing the kitchen, barefoot, coffee in one hand, legal pad in the other. She wasn't mad she was locked in. That's scarier. You're not working today, she said, not asking. I looked up from my cereal. Why not? Because you're helping me sort HOA financials. I pulled public filings from the county, and I've got 3 red flags already. I blinked. You got records before dawn? She shrugged. Couldn't sleep. I didn't ask how she got them so fast. She once dismantled a case in court in under an hour. She has ways. My phone buzzed a text from my buddy Jake, who runs a roofing company nearby. He asked if I'd heard the HOA crew was under investigation. Apparently, the deputy's report had climbed the chain, and County Internal Affairs was now involved. I walked into the leave-wying room, where Natalie had spread out documents, budgets, contracts, minutes all marked up in her handwriting. She pointed to one. Last year, Willow Grove paid $80,000 to a contractor called Evergreen Solutions. I nodded. Okay. Evergreen's registered to a shell company with a P.O. box in Fresno. Incorporated by a guy named Derek Hargrove. I raised an eyebrow. Cynthia's last name is Hargrove. Exactly. Derek's her son, 28. No landscaping license. He was sued 2 years ago for botching a contract. So she's funneling HOA money to her kid's fake company? Natalie nodded. That's embezzlement. We spent hours calling neighbors. Natalie handled legal questions. I talked to folks wary of lawyers. We kept it simple. Had any shady HOA run-ins? By noon, we had 11 people ready to speak up. At 2 p.m., we met Deputy Morales again. He'd called us back, this time in a gray suit, sitting in an unmarked car 2 blocks away. This is beyond my jurisdiction now, he said. DA's office took over. Natalie leaned forward. What charges? Misappropriation, conspiracy to commit fraud, property damage. But they need more. The DA wants ironclad evidence, especially since Cynthia's on the city zoning board. I blinked. She's on a city board? Yeah, he said. Why she's dodged accountability so long? Friends in high places. Natalie didn't flinch. Good. They'll fall harder. Morales handed her a note. Town council meetings Friday. Public comments are open. If you're dropping this bomb, do it there. Make it loud. We spent 3 days prepping. Natalie built a presentation. I gathered video clips, audio, and resident statements, everything from a teacher fined for planting daisies to a veteran threatened with foreclosure over a ramp. Thursday night, we held a secret community meeting in the park. No HA members invited. We set up chairs, passed out flyers, and projected our evidence. Natalie broke down the financials. I played the generator footage. When it ended, the silence was heavy. A woman in the back spoke up. If this is true, why hasn't anyone stopped them before? Natalie didn't hesitate. Because they made you think you couldn't. Intimidation, paperwork, hidden rules. But the law doesn't protect fraud. Once this is public, they're done. Someone else yelled, "What now?" I stepped up. Show up tomorrow. Speak. Don't let them drown you out. We're not just fixing our street, we're gutting the rot. Friday's town hall was packed. We sat up front. Cynthia strolled in late. Pearl blazer, red lipstick like she was untouchable. She didn't look at us. When public comments opened, Natalie walked to the podium, no notes, just her tablet. I'm Natalie Caldwell, Willow Grove resident and attorney. I'm presenting EVY Denke of financial misconduct, harassment, and property damage by the HOA under Cynthia Hargrove. Gasp spread. Cynthia shifted. Natalie tapped her tablet, showing the generator VY Deo, then flipped to contractor records. This shows Dula $80,000 paid to Evergreen Solutions, owned by Cynthia's son Derek. No competitive bids, no resident notification. This violates bylaws and state law. A councilman leaned in. Proof of ownership? Natalie didn't pause. Derek Hargrove is the sole incorporator, linked to a PO. Box matching Cynthia's 2019 zoning application. Cynthia stood. This is a personal attack. Unverified. Natalie's voice rose steady. Then verify it. I've sent copies to the DA, who's reviewing them now. I also have 11 sworn statements from residents about similar abuses, property destruction, fake fines. The council president banged his gavel. Mrs. Hargrove, sit. We'll review this immediately. Cynthia sat, pale, not angry, nervous. As Natalie stepped down, I stood, holding a folder. This petition, signed by 50 homeowners, demands a full HOA audit, a no-confidence vote on the board, and a suspension of HOA active VY ties until the investigation's done. The room erupted not chaos, but steady applause. People stood. Even council members looked stunned. Outside, news cameras waited. Someone had tipped the press. Natalie gave a brief, careful statement. I stood behind her, silent, staring at the woman who tried to break us. Cynthia wasn't going home. 2 plainclothes investigators escorted her to a car. Her hands shook as she got in. Natalie glanced at me. Best part? She'll have to explain to a judge how smashing a generator was routine maintenance. I laughed. For the first time in days, the neighborhood felt alive. By Saturday, Willow Grove was buzzing. The generator VY Deo aired on the 11 p.m. news with talk of alleged corruption. No names yet, but the anchor's tone said it all. This was big. I woke to texts from clients and competitors. One HVAC guy joked, taking down HOAs now, Ethan? Side gig. Natalie wasn't laughing. She was on the phone with the county clerk. They've fast-tracked the audit, she whispered, hanging up. This isn't their first complaint about Willow Grove. I raised an eyebrow. There's more. She nodded, opening her laptop. Clerk said they got 2 anonymous letters last year accusing the board of financial manipulation and vote rigging. No proof, so they couldn't act. A knock at the door. I opened it to a tall man in a blazer and a woman clutching folders. Ethan and Natalie Caldwell, he asked. Detective Ryan Kessler, White Collar Crimes, and Analyst Lopez, State Compliance Board. Natalie stepped up. You're early. We expected you Monday. Kessler nodded. Things moved fast. We got a sealed affidavit from a former HOA treasurer confirming your claims and more. Lopez spoke. We need all communications with Cynthia Hargrove or the board. Emails, letters, receipts. Natalie led them to the dining room. We've got everything. As Lopez scanned documents, Kessler pulled a notebook. You said workers were told to move your generator on Cynthia's orders. Those workers aren't licensed contractors. The truck's registration? Expired 3 years ago. We're investigating fraudulent operations. Natalie's eyes sharpened. That explains the shell companies. Kessler wrote fast. One worker admitted Cynthia paid them cash, no taxes, no reports. That's tax evasion and labor violations. Lopez looked up. Payments we've tracked hit felony levels. I exhaled. When's she arrested? Kessler stayed calm. We're working with the DA for a warrant, but we want the whole board. She's got enablers. By afternoon, our levying room was a war room. Lopez labeled folder fraud, property violations, election tampering. Kessler called a forensic accountant to review EWHOA bank statements Natalie had gotten from a former finance committee member. That evening, a patrol car parked at Cynthia's house. She stood on her porch with 2 board members, Victor Klein and Ellen Shaw. Kessler watched from our window. They know it's coming. Natalie tapped her phone. They're deleting emails. I just got a bounce back from Cynthia's HOA address. Lopez wasn't fazed. We issued a preservation order to their server this morning. Then a rusty pickup roared up to Cynthia's. A guy in his 30s, Derek, her son, jumped out, slammed the door, and yelled. He threw a folder on her lawn and peeled out. Lopez snapped a photo. That's him. Natalie's eyes narrowed. Family's turning. Next morning, we learned why. A neighbor grabbed the folder and gave it to the sheriff. Inside, checks, cash slips, a flash drive with recordings of Cynthia and Derek plotting to funnel HOA money through Evergreen, faking invoices. One clip had her saying if anyone asks, it's drainage work. No one checks drainage. That afternoon, deputies searched Cynthia's house, seizing her computer, HOA records, and a safe. Neighbors watched from porches as officers loaded boxes into an SUV. Natalie joined me at our driveway's edge. Think she's still finding us for the generator? I didn't answer. Cynthia was let out in cuffs. The next week was chaos. Victor and Ellen were subpoenaed, quickly cutting deals. Ellen had forged board vote signatures. Victor approved expenses for kickbacks. The DA held a press conference. The residents of Willow Grove exposed a pattern of criminal behavior, or that would have gone unchecked without them. Natalie watched, arms crossed. They'll indict them all. Even Derek's cooperating, but he won't walk. By month's end, the HOA was dissolved by court order. A temporary management company took over until a new board could be elected under supervision. Every fine from the old board was voided, with refunds issued from audited funds. A new county ordinance passed, mandating HOA audits and compliance training. Willow Grove became a reform model. Our generator got fixed, covered by county insurance. Natalie started a side practice for HOA abuse cases. Turns out, they're common. I added generator installs to my HVAC services with legal consulting. One afternoon, our neighbor Sarah eyed the generator. Looks solid now, she called. I grinned. Dare someone to hit it again. She laughed, but something had shifted. No fear, no tension, just peace. And the knowledge that if anyone tried to rule this place like a dictator again, they'd face the Caldwells.